This is another 5-player fixed card game which is being played on the classic risk map with intermediate plus ranked players, so no novices or beginners. I'm red, the second player in this game. And with the purple player moving out his troops from Europe, I will be definitely going for it as it's the only suitable from me continent in which I have some more troops. Then I think orange will go for Australia, green for North America, and wasn't so sure for blue, but it looks like he will be going for Africa, so thank God he didn't add his troops in Europe. Though I don't think Africa is an ideal choice for him because with South America having only one border with that blizzard, the South American player will be directly bordering with the African player, and in public lobbies these situations almost always certainly go wrong for one of the players, but since the purple player will probably get South America first, so I would assume it would go wrong for blue. In one of the recent games with me being the South American player with one border as well with the Venezuela blizzard, I wanted to see what will happen if I let another player take over Africa, and that player was even my ally, but despite that he felt really threatened by me and instead of adding a bigger army on some other border he added it on the North African border which directly borders me leaving his other borders relatively weak, so I knew if anyone he will attack me. So I just had no other choice but to betray that player smashing his biggest army and eventually eliminating him from the game. Actually, I think he quickly ended up disconnecting. So right now in public lobbies as the South American player with these blizzards I don't want anyone going for Africa, as if there's the South American player, then myself I don't want to go for Africa either, but if I did, then I wouldn't put my army next to the South America player's border to not make him feel threatened. The green player got and successfully holds 2 border North America, but that's not really an issue as other players are balancing him out. The biggest issue that he put his army in Iceland preventing me to go for Europe and that's not really a nice thing to do for an ally. So let's kindly ask the green player to move his army out from it if he doesn't want to have any problems, otherwise I don't think we will be such good friends. I don't care about the green player holding North America so as long as he lets me hold Europe. Both continents give the same continental troop bonus, and while green's continent is much better due to having fewer borders and being more isolated meaning that less accessible to other players, I would still be one of the strongest players which would let me have some more influence to the game over the weaker players, so I would be happy with that deal as it should really help me get to the 3-player situation. So assuming there wouldn't be an annoying player who would constantly keep invading me into Europe, but I mean this is why I'm allied with everyone, so they would leave me alone. And if they were neutral at first without attacking anyone else either, then I wouldn't care too much either because the main goal is to build a strong position for myself. Also as you saw I had to kindly ask the blue player to move out from Europe as well. At first I thought he will be going for Africa, but then he didn't move out his army from Europe building it even bigger. So I think he might have wanted to push me out from Europe as well. But with me having a 10 troops set at 3 cards and getting a bigger army, I think it highly influenced his willingness to move out from Europe and let me have it. Well, I assume he will let me hold it, right? We are allies after all. I was considering to eliminate blue for his 4 cards, so this is why I asked the green player to attack blue hoping that he will take down 3 troops army of blue in Asia, but he didn't, and after all it's maybe even for the better, as the blue player would have still had 18 troops army which wouldn't have been worth to take down for the cards. I would have ended with the troop loss. I mean as a very strong player it would have been definitely good to do that with a minimalistic troop loss, but as a weaker player who is not that sure to hold his position, it's better to play more safe and avoid making such elimination while it still wouldn't get you to the 3-player situation in which the balance of the game starts mattering a lot. So anyway, as you can see the blue player botched out taking the orange player out from the game. He added too many troops for the orange player's Australian army forgetting about his smaller army in Asia. Well, to be honest I don't think the blue player was really going for a complete elimination. I think his main goal was to take over Australia, and I would assume that he only saw that he could have eliminated orange only afterwards. So unfortunately orange gets to live and we are still in the 5-player situation, but at least these cards didn't go for the green player who is the strongest with the best continent, and also that's actually good that the orange player's cards didn't go for the blue player either, as I don't want him to get stronger either. I mean, if like the green player eliminates orange, then I could potentially eliminate blue, so then while the green and purple players would be perfectly balancing each other out, I could be a passive Australian player letting them fight out. I mean, in public lobbies differently than in subscriber games, players don't know about the Australian trapping strategy in which two other players team up on the Australian player in the mutually beneficial way. And also besides, even when knowing that strategy, these players could be afraid to do that, thinking that the Australian player will just self-destroy on one of them. Anyway, it looks like it's the time to say a bye-bye for the orange player, as the green player is about to eliminate him. Well, actually he went to invade purple, but alright, proceeds taking out the orange player as well. I'm wondering what he does next. Well, actually he didn't get to trade in a set, so he ends his turn. Actually, I'm not sure what the orange player was thinking by crushing some troops of the blue player and then fortifying his troops next to blue, as he was definitely asking to be taken out. If the green player hadn't done that, or some other player either, then the blue player would have definitely done so for sure. That was kinda bold for the purple player to send me thumbs down after me not invading green into Asia, as besides while the purple player asked me to attack green, in his turn he didn't do that himself either. So he wants others to attack green but doesn't do that himself, even though he would have needed to attack one troop territory. I think basically the purple player wanted that the green player's attention would have been taken away from him to me, which is definitely a smart strategy. Besides, with me wanting to stick in a strong alliance with green, that he would still trust me the most of all of the players and at the same time would still let me hold Europe. Another reason not to do that was because I knew that the blue player will invade green into Asia anyway. Or even if not, then those troops would have been used on the purple player anyway. Actually, that's really good that I didn't attack any territory of green back then, as with the green player not having a free territory to attack, which wouldn't have been someone's continent, he invaded the purple player into Africa again. Also, when the green player sent me an attack request to attack purple for the first time, I thought that he really tries to manipulate me, as obviously me attacking purple would lead me of not holding Europe anymore while the green player would still hold North America, and if I with purple seriously fought each other wasting lots of troops, then it would definitely give away the game for green. But after all, it looks like the green player wants to seriously attack purple, but again for the same mentioned reasons I cannot help him out, as I would sacrifice the position for myself, highly increasing the green player's chances to win. And for the same reasons I couldn't help the purple player to attack green. I mean, I'm in the middle between both of them, so fighting any of them would sacrifice my position while really giving the game for the person I'm helping out. So in this situation, Europe is not the most ideal place to be in. So because of that, I want to relocate myself from Europe to Australia. And I will do that by eliminating the blue player from the game. I will show you how to beat the Australian turtle player. I mean, in this 4-player situation, the blue player isn't needed at all. He doesn't make any attacks, so I'm as the bigger turtle have to eliminate him. So to finally let the green and purple players properly fight it out and over destroying each other give away the game for me. And me holding Europe makes it very complicated for them, so I must move to a more neutral place and give them a full access to each other's borders. In the 3-player situation, I want to end up with 2 aggressive players who hate each other, and in this situation the green and purple players really suit that. To end up in a 3-player situation with the blue player would be the worst, as another player wouldn't know the trapping strategy, and at the end I would probably have to fight that another player, which would increase the blue players as the neutral player's chances to win. So now with me taking him out, that problem is solved. Looking to the troops counter, the green player has a similar amount of troops as me and purple combined, but with one of his armies being blocked, he cannot take any of us out for the cards. So I and the purple player will trade in our sets and be good again. But either way, if I see that the green player is getting too strong, then I will help out the purple player to attack him. But it looks like the green player to have left the game. Honestly, I don't understand people who leave the game when finally some bigger action starts happening. When the game is stalemating and very boring, it perfectly makes sense to quit, but why would you do that in a situation like this when finally something more interesting has finally happened? I would assume you would like to be in the game with a lot of action, over in the situation when everyone just hurdles. But thankfully the green player came back to the game again. Let's hope that was a serious disconnection issue rather than the green player trying to abuse it by hoping that I and purple destroy each other, as usually the bots are being left alone since they always easy to deal in the endgame, so unless you're barely alive. Either way, I'm still glad that the green player got back to the game, as otherwise with the purple player being stronger than me he would have won the game, and with the green player being a bot, it would have ruined a really interesting game. From a really interesting game it would have become a really lame game which wouldn't have been worth to be shown on YouTube. But now we got to the real deal business for another time again. So hopefully both of the players stay till the end without any of them suddenly disconnecting ever again. Now it's about the patience time for me. I have to wait till my opponents over-destroy each other. The green player seems to be in the troop lead, but we are still balancing him out without him getting to the point in which he would have as many troops as both of us combined, or even at the point in which even with him having fewer troops it would be worth to eliminate one of us for the cards, so he would still have enough troops to fight another one in the endgame. But if anything, I'm always ready to help the purple player out if I see the green player really starts taking the advantage over the game. It looks like the purple player really wants me to attack green, but before he did something major by himself, I cannot really help him out besides capturing some more territories of the green player, so at least to show him some smaller support, would I more on his side over the green player's one. The purple player didn't recapture Africa and said good luck, so I think that's something the purple player is going to do. And that's right, this is what I thought about. So I wasn't too sure if it was going to be directed to me or the green player, but with the green player constantly attacking purple, it made sense that the purple player got much more mad on the purple player than me. Now I was really considering taking out the green player for his 5 cards or the purple player for 3 cards and leaving green player's army blocked, but with me not being too sure I decided to still rather do a more passive move. But honestly I think that was a missed opportunity to win. I should have definitely taken one of them out, and if the blitz rolls were good enough, then I might have finished them both in a single turn. I mean, with the green player having 5 cards it would have been 9 cards in total for me, which would have let me trade even 2 sets at once. But instead of that I gave them the chance to make a comeback. But they obviously didn't take that chance and instead of that proceeded to keep destroying each other. Of course it isn't as an epic win anymore as it would have been if I immediately taken one of them out, but it's still a win. Now if you're wondering how that mentioned Australian trapping strategy works, then make sure to check this video out.